engineers
Right.
and scientists, and they all thought I was part of them.
You had that look, huh?
Yeah, because, first thing we did, we built a little, remodeled a building called Building 40. It was just a dumb looking little building. But we had to leave our tools in there every night. And that Building 40 went hot, meant that we had to leave, buy new tools. We couldn't use our tools anymore. It had two things where they would ship in some scientific things, and you could, if you worked there, you could you could stand in a room and it was look through some about 4 inches of glass and see what you're doing, and open a package that was down in there and unscrew the cap and take something that was full of radium.
Oh no, really?
Yeah.
That's scary, isn't it?
That's why I say the building went hot, and before the thing was over, we kept getting. This was a rough old construction, dirt and mud and piles of dirt and everything. And come in with about 10, 50-gallon drums. And I was just that nosy. I could sneak off and ask her, what the hell's going on now?
Mm-hmm.
And they told me, well, we don't know what it is. This is, whatever they were doing was inside those cans. And they were sealed metal cans. And then they had about 2 weeks every day. They prepared for this thing. And then he says that they were going to go through this experiment. Like I said, they would talk to me because I had a beard.
Yeah. Did you have corduroy
Yeah.
corduroy jacket with patches on the elbows, and you look like a professor?
Yeah. And so I asked them when I was coming off, and they said, well, about 3 days of preparation. So I says, can I be here, or do I have to be away? He says, you can be here. And they had all these barrels out there, and they're sealed. And whatever they did, all of a sudden it was like somebody was inside the barrel. And that was the end of the experiment. It was a little too much.
Oh yeah.
That was too early.
Scary.
And we built the office building down there.
Oh really?
Yeah. Me and 2 other bricklayers built, and Uncle Paul borrowed me his tractor.
What year did you say this would be about when you did this? When?
When?
In the 60s?
In the 50s.
In the 50s. Oh.
It was when, who was the newscaster that tried to jump the fence?
Dan Rather? No, what fence? Where?
There was a big hurricane fence all the way around, about 8 foot high. And nobody was allowed in or out.
Oh, here, a local newscaster. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't think. He was the top newscaster.
Johnny Drummond.
And they
is the
caught
only
him
guy.
trying to go over the fence.
Huh.
And he did it to see how tight our security was.
Well, people are scared that it's like this thing over in Switzerland now, CERN, where Theo would love to work. They were all scared when they started. They were going to try to recreate the Big Bang, and everybody. It's just like what we were talking about, Project Manhattan. Nobody knew what was going to happen, and there's all these rumors that they shouldn't start it up because what if they ruin something? So they had protesters out there saying, "You're not, science is scary.
Yeah.
You got to take those chances."
Well, down in Texas, right near New Mexico,
Yeah.
where they set off the big bomb. They called it Little Boy.
Oh.
They set off the first atomic bomb. They didn't know it would work. But when you read the stories of it, a lot of it was hooked up with a huge town in Tennessee that went into this and experiment. Then they set this bomb off in Texas shortly before we bombed Japan with it.
Huh.
And the first one was Big Boy in Albuquerque. And there was a lot of trouble. We had this one guy. Well, do you remember what his name was? He was a German guy, and just worked for us. But like anybody else, we couldn't use all. If the blocks had chip on them, you couldn't use them. So he asked me, is it okay if he picks up the block that
With
gotta
chips
be
and
sent
take them
back?
home?
And I said, yeah, it's okay. So I allowed him to, I said, yeah, it's okay. So, but he went in there at night, and then I said, him, what the heck? I can't think of his name now. A real funny name. Something like Hortense.
I'm sorry, I'm not good about, I don't remember the story even about them.
And they caught him. He drove his car in there and through security and loaded up the block, and they caught him doing that. And so they threw him in arrested him, threw him in a cooler, and he had to get me out of bed. I had to show that I approved that he could have that junk block.
Oh, the cops or somebody came?
Yeah.
So these are the 2 phone numbers I have to call right now to ask them to send me information.
Yeah.
I noticed this is a 2007.
Yeah, we
book.
asked her about that. She said it should be the same, but you should ask them what the exact cost is.
Yeah. 1-800-523-5800.
Well, I'll let you
Yeah,
go
I
ahead
better
and get
call
at that.
those
I
two,
know you're
please.
anxious. You guys got something
And
for lunch?
What was the
The other thing?
what was the
The medical insurance?
yeah, the prescription drug program? What was the name of the 2 companies that